Aging Well Senior Health Advisories deliver important information to educate and support seniors about the importance of preventive health, making and keeping doctor appointments, prescription medicines, and good nutrition to prevent obesity and reduce risk of disease. Aging Well with Weight Management.
The best way to manage weight is to stay active, and that doesn't have to be running a marathon or swimming a mile a day. It's really just getting up and moving a half hour at a time, once a day, and making sure that that happens at least 5 times a week, and being thoughtful about what you eat, eating a balanced diet with plenty of fruits, grains, vegetables, minimizing fat intake, and really just paying attention to what you eat and being active. And that will keep you healthy pretty much from childhood through adulthood and being elder.
Well, I do try to exercise every morning. I used to go to a program when I was younger, but I really can't do that much anymore. So before breakfast, I do my exercising and try to do it every day for at least 30 minutes.
Rather than use an elevator, I use stairs. At the port down here, we've got long ramps, low tide. I go up and down those 4 or 5 times a day. I do stretches.
Obesity is a national epidemic. Nearly 1/3 of all Americans are obese. The impacts of obesity and being overweight are always significant, but the impact increases as a person gets older. High blood pressure, which can lead to heart disease, and diabetes often result.
I think the most important thing is probably regular exercise. I think we tend to be a society that just doesn't get out and do things very much. So we need to get out and get some exercise, preferably every day, preferably 30 minutes or more, and do an exercise that will increase your heart rate, make you sweaty, make you a little bit shorter breath. So it's more than just, pulling up weeds in the garden sort of thing.
Well, I think it's important to really stay focused on keeping things simple, and too many times seniors will try to bite off more than they can chew, literally, and it just becomes a bit overwhelming. We get so many messages from the media, which diet to follow, what drink to buy, what food to get, and I think sticking to basic concepts, looking at your nutrition, looking at your exercise program or activity program, and thinking about your mental health as it relates to your weight.
There's several things that can be done that can be helpful. Probably the first thing people could do is eat breakfast. They start eating a good breakfast. Best meal of the day is breakfast. Breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, so to speak, and dinner like a pauper. Totally opposite the way most of us eat. But if people would eat that way and then exercise and be physically active several days a week, most people wouldn't have problems with being over their ideal weight.
The best way to maintain a proper weight is a balanced diet, monitoring the amount of calories you take in every day, avoid unnecessary fried foods and calories, and also daily exercise is very important. 15 to 30 minutes of walking on a daily basis is very helpful, along with other social activities such as going to the park, meeting with your friends, shopping around the mall where there's activity and active exercise. That is a key to good health.
One of the biggest mistakes people often make when they think about nutrition is obviously limiting calories, which is important, but don't skip breakfast. So many people skip breakfast, and what they don't realize is that breakfast really sets your metabolism for the rest of the day. And many seniors, as they age, will find that their metabolism is shifting and often slowing down.
While breakfast is the time to fuel up for the day, many people make dinner their big meal. This, along with large portions or daily snacking on unhealthy foods, can have a detrimental effect.
I think serving size is another huge thing that's become a big challenge for us. Several years ago, when my kids were quite a bit younger, we went back to Mount Vernon, just outside of Washington, D.C., and looked in George Washington's dining room. In George Washington's dining room, the salad plates are the size of our saucers now. The dinner plates were the size of our salad plates. And if you look back a couple hundred years ago, we didn't have all the affluence we have now, but we didn't have the weight issues near as much either.
Looking at your dinner plate in your mind, if half of your dinner plate is vegetables, a third of it or a quarter of it is protein, and a quarter of it is starch. That's kind of the healthy plate. And the goal is to eat your vegetables first, didn't your mom tell you that? Eat your protein next and save your starch for last. And that is a good concept to take throughout any meal of the day.
Blood glucose testing determines how much sugar is in the blood, the first clinical indicator of diabetes. Testing is recommended every 3 years. A glucose level of 100 to 126 is considered pre-diabetic. A third of these people advanced to the full disease. However, it is possible to reverse the trend if it is caught in time.
Best thing you can avoid to get diabetes is stay at your ideal weight and be physically active and eat a healthy diet. A healthy diet which has lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, servings of meat that are healthy servings, nice lean cuts, and those are the kind of the cornerstones of what you can do to prevent that. But we're finding that most people, there's been some recent studies that have been shown that even people with family histories of diabetes, if people will exercise regularly and stay at their ideal weight and make healthy food choices, they can reduce their risk of diabetes by 80%.
I think it's so key to think about the end organ effects of diabetes. And what I mean by that, there are body systems that are affected by diabetes, including the heart, chance of a heart attack, your blood vessels, chance of what we call peripheral vascular disease, think about amputations, the kidney function, diabetes can lead to kidney failure, even requiring dialysis, your vision, and people can get vision loss and even blindness with diabetes.
How can Medicare eligibles prevent diabetes? Or if diagnosed with diabetes, what lifestyle changes should I make to manage it?
Probably the most important thing is weight. American culture tends to be a culture that's overweight. And particularly people who distribute their fat centrally are at real high risk for developing diabetes. So obviously losing weight, the regular exercise, as has been discussed, those are the most important things. But probably weight loss being the #1 problem.
Yeah, it's so essential to see your physician on an annual basis to really talk about your health, to look at screening tests for conditions like diabetes, and he or she will go through questions that might lead them to do further testing to see if you're actually diabetic. If you're pre-diabetic, it's better to know now and help prevent those conditions that can actually lead to diabetes.
The Aging Well Senior Health Advisory is produced by Seattle Community College's television in cooperation with Public Health, Seattle and King County, Snohomish Health District, Essence Healthcare and its participating hospitals and medical centers in Washington, the Polyclinic and the Everett Clinic.